Hello students, today we will start our chapter gravitation, and just look at this picture. Can you recall something or seeing this picture? Yes, it is related to the famous story which you listened during your childhood of a great scientist Newton, that he was sitting under a tree and an apple fall on his head. When an apple was falling down on the earth, then at the same time many queries were rising in his mind. Why didn't the apple go upward? At the same time, one more query was there in his mind: why don't moon falls on the earth just like an apple? For his first query, he argued that each and every object in this universe attract every other object with a force which is directly proportional to the product of their masses. When two bodies, in this case, when two bodies just like this, these two are bodies, different bodies, these attract each other. These attract each other with force of attraction. This force, when two bodies are separated from, and these two bodies are separated from each other, and the distance between them, if it is considered as d, then the force of attraction is directly proportional to the product of these two bodies, the product of masses of these two bodies. If we take the mass of this body as capital M and this body as small m, then force will be directly proportional to the capital M into small m, and the force is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between these two bodies. Square of the distance, this is a distance between the centers of these two bodies. So force is directly proportional to the product of masses of these two bodies, and force is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the centers of these two bodies. So if we calculate the force, then it will be what? F is directly is proportional to capital M into small m upon d square. If we dissolve this proportionality, then we will write down the proportionality constant. Then F is equal to capital G into small m into capital M upon d square. Now the question arises, what is capital G? Capital G is a universal gravitational constant. Universal gravitational constant means its value will remain constant either we calculate it on Earth or on Moon or any other planet of the solar system or anywhere else. The value of G will be constant, so its value is known as universal gravitational constant, and the value of this constant is 6.67 into 10 raised to power minus 11 Newton meter square per kilogram square. So it should be noted that the value of G always remains constant irrespective of the location. Now question arises, what is the importance of this universal law of gravitation? With the help of this universal law of gravitation, we can explain many phenomena. What are those phenomena? We can explain the phenomena of the force that binds us to the earth. What does this mean when we are saying that each and every object on this in this universe attract each other, and it is directly proportional to what? It is directly proportional to the product of the masses of the bodies. So the mass of earth is too much large as compared to our body. No doubt the apple will also attract the earth and the earth will also attract the apple. But what is the proportionality? The earth will attract according to its own mass and the apple will attract the earth according to its own mass. So as compared to the apple, the mass of earth is too much large. So each and every object, because each and every object has a negligible mass as compared to Earth. So the force of attraction is more powerful of Earth as compared to any of the other objects. So all objects will bind towards the Earth, because when we discuss that two of bodies, any of the two bodies attract each other, then um, uh, a riddle or any factor comes in our mind, that if a fat body and a thin body, when they will pass by each other, will they also attract each other? Will they also collapse with each other? But in this can only happen in case of vacuum, when Earth's gravitational force of attraction will not functionable. When Earth's force of attraction cannot be applied, then only this can happen. So, as compared to the Earth, the whole of the bodies have too much negligible mass, so all bodies are attracted towards the Earth. And secondly, why do the this universal law of gravitation also explain the phenomena of the motion of moon around the Earth? Moon is moving around the Earth. It never falls on the Earth. So it can also be explained by universal law of gravitation. Similarly, it can also explain the motion of planets around the sun. Why do planets don't fall on the sun while revolving around it? And one more, the phenomena of the tides due to the moon and the sun. It can also be explained by using universal law of gravitation. Now, the first point we have discussed in very detail, and let us come to the second and third, that the motion of moon around the earth or the motion of planets around the sun, how can these can be explained with the help of universal law of motion? Why don't they fall on the earth, moon fall on the earth while revolving, and why don't the planets fall on the sun while revolving? Because sun is also attracting the planets, because the mass of sun is too much large as compared to the planets. So sun is also applying the force of attraction on the planets. Why don't they fall down on the sun? So it can be explained with the help of this video. Just look at this video. In this video, one object is revolving around the earth. This object is continuously revolving, and when the body moves in a circular path with a certain speed and changes in direction, involves the change in velocity of the acceleration. When the body is revolving around and around, then it means it is changes its direction each and every point. So it can be explained with the help of this activity also. Let us see this activity. What should we have to do? We have to take a stone and a string, and with the help of a string we will tie a stone and start to revolve it around. When the one end of the thread is string is in our hand, and we are revolving the whirling the stone, then what will we see? The stone is revolving around and around in a circular path, and it is changing in its direction each and every point. The change in direction involves the change in velocity or acceleration. The force that causes this acceleration and keeps the body moving in a circular path, it is applied towards the center. So this force, it is acting, which is the force which is acting towards the center when body is moving in a circular path. This force is called centripetal force. In the absence of this force, the revolving body flies off the straight line. If it is not applied in the absence, then the body will be fly off along the straight line. So this is what, how can we explain that why the bodies are not falling down on the center body when any body is revolving around the central body? the revolving body will never fall down because of the centripetal force. And each and every point when the body is moving, then it is changing its position each and every point, and change in direction involves the change in velocity and acceleration, and hence the torque means the tangent. Each and every point there is different tangents, so at the different tangents different directions, and due to this the body will not be fall on the central body, revolving body will not fall on the central body. So hence we can say that the Newton had explained the universal gravitational universal law of gravitation. Till today our lecture is up to this. Understand this video and just observe, repeat it from your books, and then we will continue our chapter tomorrow.